Hey everybody, Rider here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokémon Colosseum. Since last time, I've done a little bit of rearranging with my party to try to get some of the more important Pokemon in the early game to get their gauges down. Now that we've defeated Kale, there are a couple triggers that we have to meet before we can move on with the plot. After you have defeated Kale, snagging his Shadow Furret is optional. You don't have to do it to move on with the game. But after you've defeated him, you're going to want to go talk to the mayor again. That's not the mayor's house, that's the hotel. We never want to set foot in there because it's better just to go to the healing station at the Colosseum. And that's not the right way either. Why do I know where nothing is in this town? There it is, it's back here. Now, one thing I overlooked last time is there's actually a secret passage behind the bookshelf, and you're going to need to talk to the people behind here in order to advance the game. This is the trigger. All three of these people you have to talk to. So apparently they've got a bunch of kids trying to derail Mirror B's plans. That's just great. Because the police force and the mayor apparently are either powerless to do anything about it, or they just don't care. Could be a combination of both as well. And talking to the mayor there is a trigger for the next event. Once Silva runs out of the mayor's house, he goes here. Looks like somebody got beat up pretty bad. So apparently there's a windmill here that provides power to the Colosseum, so all the matches that are going on are going to get suspended. Well, that's because the Colosseum is the only real tourist attraction to Pyrite Town. This place is kind of run down and it's full of thugs, so I can imagine that they have trouble getting commerce in here. In any case, Silva has ran off with the gear to the construction lot. So we need to head back there and retrieve it. It's real simple to find, but it won't show up until after you see that cutscene. It's just in plain sight, and it's even glowing. It's practically impossible to miss. Now, there is one thing I want to do before really moving on with the plot. I can go... There's a TM I can go get. We haven't run into any TMs yet. Unfortunately, TMs don't work like they do in 5th generation yet. TMs before 5th generation were a one-time use. And you don't really get any good ones other than doing Colosseum battles, which you can't do until late in the game because your levels simply aren't high enough. And now that the gear's back in place, we should have the Colosseum running again. kind of silly that that small little windmill can power the whole Colosseum. What now? Well, we do need the experience, and there aren't a whole lot of trainers around here. The trainers around here are kind of easy. The ones in the Colosseum are much more difficult, but they're also good for experience. There's one thing I do want to get before I go to the Colosseum battles, and I'm not going to be actually showing any of the battles because they're kind of boring and just not good to show. I'm generally only going to be showing off battles with shadow Pokemon in them, or particularly challenging battles. I might show off the final round. If you check the front desk in the jail, you can get the jail key. And I believe the TM you can get is inside one of these cells. You can get it from one of the prisoners. So they went in jail just to hide. That actually kind of makes sense, because Mirror B's probably pretty mad at those two. Is it this guy that gives you the TM? It looks like it. Right there. And oddly enough, TM46 is a Thief. Unfortunately, Thief isn't particularly useful in this game because very few Pokemon actually have held items. Now that that little side quest is taken care of, we can finally head to the Colosseum and get into a match. The way Colosseums work in this game is every knockout challenge has 4 rounds. The only challenge in this particular knockout challenge is the final match. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the first 3 matches off screen, and then go to the 4th. Match number 1 is against Barboach 30, Sandshrew 31. Match number 2 is against Natu 30, Metatite 30. Match 3 is against Electrike 30, Cacnea 31, Vulpix 32. So I'm going to take care of all 3 of those guys on my own time, and I will be right back. And we're back for the final round. Pretty much all the Colosseum battles have the same intro, and this is the same intro that you'll get to Battle Mode as well if you go in there. Also, each round of each Colosseum has its own battle music, and we're going to be hearing these themes in other places later in the game. Bagon is a Dragon-type Pokemon, meaning that it resists almost every kind of special attack. The way to get around this is to just use physical attacks instead. And I think I want to get Lava out of here because of the water types. I would recommend Confuse Ray for the Bagon because it has pretty high attack power as well. And it can do a lot of damage to itself with the confusion. I like the music they got going on here. It's real ambient and tense. Oh, I misclicked. I did not want to do that. Now, one thing that's kind of bad about Surf in this generation is that when used in doubles, Surf's power is split between the 2 Mons. This might hurt. Yeah, that hurt pretty bad. In later generations, I believe it's 5th onward, Surf will hit all other Pokemon in the battle. And for some reason in 6th generation, Surf got a slight nerf from 95 power to 90. I'm not quite sure why. A lot of things actually got changed in 6th generation. No, and also with regards to 6th generation, no plot spoilers, please, because I'm still playing through the game and I'm not looking at anything. Right now, I think I'm going for my 4th badge. Overall, I really like the game's presentation. And it has a lot of features to encourage raising a full team rather than speedrunning through it with just 1 or 2 months, and I like that. I really don't care if I lose any Pokemon, because in these fights, in between each round, you are automatically healed to full HP on your entire team. The same will be the case for Mount Battle later in the game. But that'll probably be 4 or 5 episodes from now. Because we're not going to hit Mount Battle for a while. It's one of the more important places in the game. I think I'm actually just going to get rid of that Goldeen now. And going into Hyper Mode in these battles is not a bad thing, because you need to get your Shadow gauges down to be able to access the Shadow Pokemon's good moves. Having Flaffy's gauge down farther is very important. I think I'm going to work on Quagsire's right now. Because Quagsire gets, like I said before, Quagsire gets Surf as its 3rd move, which is huge. Even though I said Surf was kind of gimped in this game, it's still very important to be able to get it. Also, I believe Mischievous is going to get Shadow Ball soon, which is a really powerful move to have at this point in the game. Hopefully it gets it soon. Shadow Ball is an 80 power Ghost move. Unfortunately, Ghost in 3rd generation is physical, but it's still extremely useful because it's an 80 power same type move that you get access to very early in the game. And I also was very lucky to get the good ability on Quagsire. I think its other ability is something useless like Damp. All Damp does is prevents the use of Explosion. I want to work on Mistrevis's Shadow Gauge, so I think I want to just use a potion to keep it alive. This is your most difficult battle yet, so don't sweat it if it gives you a lot of trouble. Why can't this be Shin Megami Tensei, where if I drain an attack, the whole rest of their team loses their turns? Actually, it makes me wonder how fun Pokemon would be if it used Press Turn. Oh, this Delibird is worth a lot of experience, so make sure that you have Pokemon that are at least 40% purified before you take it on. This level 34 Delibird is worth an astounding 666 experience points. Present is the only move that you may have to watch out for. because it has a 25% chance of being a 120 power move. I actually want Quagsire to go into hyper mode as much as possible to get his gauge down. Because like I said, having access to Surf for the next part of the game is going to be extremely important. Also, I'm curious as to how everybody thinks I'm handling the battles right now. Because I am editing a lot of battles out. If you guys want to see more battles, let me know and I'll try to show more of them. And that'll be a wrap. I'm probably going to cut the episode off soon, too, because we did do quite a bit. Hey, we win the tournament! And we get a pretty good chunk of money. TM6 is toxic. Now, one thing I think I want to do before I move on with the plot is actually save. Because there's a difficult Pokemon capture coming up. Yeah, I think I am just going to save and call it a video now. Just for the sake of being able to get this first try, since if you don't get it, now you won't be able to get it for a while. So, next time on Let's Play Pokemon Colosseum, we're gonna see what winning this tournament got us. See you later.